Good evening, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Ocean's Pit, a little show about big things. Hope you guys are having a great day. Great morning. It is beautiful outside, and go out and have fun. I had some fishing this morning, and I went out with mom, took her shopping. But we got a great show for you guys. July 19th. Check the web comment. Give us a call at 847-769-8609 to book a show. Every show is dedicated to the first responders, but mostly it's dedicated to people like you who take the time and watch the show. Now, whether you're watching it on the Tony Ocean Show Facebook page, on the Mo Carrero Facebook page, we're on LinkedIn, we're on YouTube, we're on the Ocean's Pit Facebook page, and we're on Twitter, formerly. Now it's X, was Twitter. Anyway, no matter how you're watching it, whether you're watching it during lunchtime hour here with me or you're watching it later on and blessed and honored. We got a great show. Now, guys, we have guests on Wednesdays and Fridays. Of course, every Tuesday is Twisted Tuesday with Carol Brandolino. Thursday, my lovely wife, Laura Ocean. But today's guest is an up-and-coming singer. His name is Frankie Setta. He'll be here today and talking about Sinatra, Rat Pack, Dean Martin, Bobby Darin, all the great Vegas singers. So we got a show coming up. Let's go. It's showtime. Boo, boo, boo. Well, let's see here. There it is. Sorry about that, folks. That was... Oh, that's Dino. Thank you, Dino Manzella from Seventh Heaven, for that great intro. Oh boy, what a great day it is, folks. I want to start off real fast by thanking our sponsors. Very, very important. We got to do it with our good friends from Ace Hardware. Ace is the place. Buy local, shop local, Norwich, Evergreen Park, Warrenville. Summer deals happening at all their stores. 50% off all lawn and garden decor, 40% off outdoor decorative chimes, patio sets on sale, lowest prices. They also have handyman insurance, license at Norwich, and a display. Don't forget to tune up that lawnmower, $105 plus parts, and take advantage of the Auto Key programming at all their stores. Get their car keys made up 50% less than the dealership. That's Ace is the place. Buy a local, shop local. Ace, helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. Oh, yeah. And let's not forget my good friend Mary Grievous, folks. If you're looking for real estate needs, and who isn't these days, buying or selling your home, let's go with Mary Grievous, folks. That's right. Perfect professional real estate, whether you're looking putting your home on the market or looking for your dream home, give her a call. She's available. It says buyer, seller, sale by owners, expired listings. Mary Grievous, Brookshire, Hathaway, Stark, M. Grievous at starkre.com, or give Mary a call at 630-688-1725. And if you're looking, folks, for real estate and Mary Grievous, then you also know that Mary is in charge of the Chicago Music Cruise 2025. Now, you guys missed the one that we had. If you missed the one we had, sorry about that, folks. If you missed the one in January, now it's guys to get a chance to jump on this one here. Coming up March 22nd to March 30th, 2025. It's the Chicago Music Cruise. It starts, of course, Royal Caribbean Cruise Line, Oasis of the Seas. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to stop at Fort Lauderdale, Florida. That's where it's going to start off. We're going to go to Curacao. We're going to go to Aruba, and we're going to go to Coco Key, Bahamas. And the bands line up, Tony Ocean, the whole main event band, Tony Toto, Jerry Jams, and Ron Starr on this one. It's going to be very good, folks. How about also Mojo's Jukebox, my rock band? Hillbilly Rockstar is the #1 country band in the city of Chicago. Seventh Heaven, the ringleaders themselves. Frankie Hollywood Rodriguez spinning those spinning CD songs. And the Jersey Girls, all of us. 8 days, spring break, Royal Caribbean Cruise Line. Give Mary a call at 630-688-1725 and tell them Tony O sent you. Ocean's Pit, little show about big things. All right, so for those days, folks, and I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you're going out and supporting local establishments, live entertainment. Get out there and do your stuff. Let me see who's watching today. We have Indiana in the house. Jerry Jams, Vince Ryan, how you doing? Hey, Christine, how you doing? Of course, Double T, great show last night. Kathy Ippolito, Santa Barbara, California. We got Indiana, Nashville. Louis Pipes is in the house. Oh, Iowa. I got a great show. Frankie Seta coming up very shortly, guys. I want to thank everybody, since this show started in 2020. And on Tuesdays, we walk the Almost Home for Dogs Foundation. I walk dogs on Tuesday. It's on Irving Park Road in Schaumburg. Now they've been not shut down, but they're remodeling. So they're putting new cages and they're fixing everything up for the dogs, or even putting an inside veterinarian, so they don't have to take the dogs out. And but you guys have been sending me money and giving me donations and stuff. And we had a nice card from the Almost Home Foundation people. Tony, thank you very much for your recent donations. You are generous and kind. We appreciate all you do for your Almost Home Foundation. We can't thank you enough. So thank you guys from Almost Home Foundation. We got a big show coming up for them on the 31st of this month at Kelsey's Roadhouse. It's a 90-minute show, folks. It's going to be good. All the money and proceeds are going to go to the Almost Home Foundation. It's a good thing. It's got 50-50 and raffles, and you can bring your dogs. At the park is right there, so you can bring your dogs outside having fun. It's going to be cool. So I'm looking forward to that. I want to thank everybody from the town of Berkeley, Illinois. Yesterday, we did their summer series concerts. We've been doing them for almost 8-9 years, and I want to thank everybody for showing up. A lot of fun. I want to thank my good friend Cousin Tommy for showing up. It was great seeing Mr. Dave Antonelli yesterday. And I want to thank Tony and Cheryl Riccio from the Ron Onesti organization. Thank you. You guys, have not seen you guys in a while. I hope you're doing well. Great seeing Marcia. Kim Peterson LeFew, another singer in Chicago, stopped by to sing a few. But I want to thank also the band, Jerry Jams, Double T, Tony Toto, Danny Ramundi, Ron Starr, and Regina Karma, all of us on one stage at that time. It was a lot of fun. Everybody sang songs. Also great seeing Anthony Ramundi, which is Danny's kid, all the way from Florida, was in there with his friends. So it was a great turnout. Now, tonight, we're going to be at Chicago Prime Steakhouse in Schaumburg with Daryl Armanstad, 8 o'clock, the professor. Tomorrow will be at Taverna on Division in Melrose Park. Now, that outside patio is voted the best patio in all of the suburbs of Chicago. It's in Melrose Park, right on Division, 8 o'clock, me and Double T. It's going to be beautiful. And Sunday, we'll be at Ron Onesti's Club Arcata Speakeasy for Rat Pack Sunday. If you've never been there before, the music that we're performing, the entertainers that perform on Sunday, basically all they're doing is Rat Pack type, Vegas type music. So it's a completely different show than your normal Tony Ocean show. But I'll be there this Sunday with Jerry Jams at 3:30, and the great Lee Stevens. She'll be there celebrating her 80th birthday. So it'll be fun this Sunday. I hope you guys come out. 3:30, that starts, oshows.com. So very, very cool. Before we bring our guest in, we got some stuff here. What do we got here? Boy, oh boy, oh boy. The Mirage in Las Vegas, Nev. is finally closing after 34 years. I played Vegas from 2000 to 2008. Performing at the Riviera. We had a lot of great times. Vegas was completely different then. Everybody still dressed up. It was still kind of mob owned. Before then it became like family friendly, and it ruined the whole thing of Las Vegas. I have no intention of going back. I don't care even to visit Las Vegas. For me, it's completely changed. People walk around with their baseball caps on and sandals, and men with Crocs. It's like nobody dresses up anymore. I just lost all the edge of it. But anyway, Mirage is going down. That's a place that, back in the day, all those great hotels from the histories, they're all going, and they're just going to be torn down and rebuilt or some other giant theme thing. But the Mirage had some good memories there. 34 years. That's they're done. So very interesting. For all you Chicago Bears fans, they signed rookie Rome Odom for a full guaranteed contract. So let's hope. I don't know what the Bears are going to be doing. I'm not a Bears fan, but it's going to be interesting now. Caleb Williams, we'll see what he ends up doing. I don't know. It's going to be, on paper, he's supposed to be the next Patrick Mahomes, but the Bears have all this past history where they have that guy, and he's supposed to be the best. And, of course, they end up being a bust. I blame it all on the coaches and the people, the scouts or whatever you call them, the people that scout the players to get them on the team. And I basically also blame it on the ownership, the McCaskies. And I don't think anything's going to change until the McCaskies pass on or they pass it and sell it to somebody else. That's just my opinion. Also, folks, I don't know if you guys, how many people have seen the Republican convention highlights yesterday with Donald Trump in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It was a big event, and you know it is. It's not a political show. I do speak my mind every now and then, but it was nice to see his granddaughter get up there and say some great things. And it was, you've seen Hulk Hogan, oh boy, Kid Rock, and, Dana White and everybody. So today's not the day to talk about that. We'll talk about that maybe Tuesday again with terrible Twisted Tuesdays with Carol Brandolino, but it was definitely interesting. Also, happy Cheap Trick Day for all you Cheap Trick fans out there from Rockford, Illinois, one of my favorite rock bands. That's going to be very interesting as well. Country Thunder is this weekend in Lake Geneva. Not Lake Geneva, in Wisconsin. If you guys are big Country Thunder fans, I know a lot of my friends go. It's like a 4-day event. Everybody's all over the place. So it's going to be interesting. Just be careful when you're out there. Hopefully there's no rain because then they get all that mud out there. And, it gets crazy. Chelly, my friend, great fish. What a wonderful place. I had my 60th birthday party. They swam, the dolphins. There you go. Well, Marion, I hope you're feeling well. Good. Thank you. Felix, there he is. Felix Greco. If you didn't get a chance, Felix is another singer in Chicagoland there. Felix, check your private message if you didn't check it yet. Always winning. How you doing, my friend? Ronnie B is in the house. So very, very cool on that. Now, also, last week, the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. We did lose one firefighter. Also, there's another person that was shot, Jim Copenhagen. He's praying for him right now. He's still in condition, but hopefully he'll get better. And God, that's horrible. And something like that has to happen horribly. Anyway, folks, it's Ocean's Pit. We have a great show. Frankie coming up in a few seconds, folks. But before we bring them on, let's get to two more sponsors. We're talking about Gorelli Pavement Service. That's right, Gorelli Pavement Services. You got to have them in your home or in your business. Gorelli Pavement Service, family owned and operated. Their service area includes Illinois, Wisconsin, Indiana, specializing in parking lots. They do both asphalt, concrete work. They do repairs, replacement, seal coating, crack filling, lot painting. They have a 5-star rating. Call to speak to a knowledgeable representative at 815-271-5835 or check out Gorelli Pavement Services.com and tell them Tony O sent you. And let's not forget our good buddy Jack Vena Landscaping. They offer monthly maintenance programs, bush trimming, spring and fall cleanup, bed mulching, fertilizing, weed control. They also offer plant design service and installation. They've been servicing the North Shore for 44 years. Call Tommy at 847-432-5222. 8266. And one more. Airtight windows, baby. You know, we're talking about my buddy Louis Pipes. Airtight windows. If you're looking for new windows and you want it done right, do it right with Airtight. For honesty and quality, dependability, do it right with Airtight. Servicing the Chicagoland area for 35 years. Do it right with Airtight. Call Louis at 708-788-5000 and tell him Tony O sent you. And they're going to get yourself a special deal because that's what they do. That's what buy local, shop local is all about. So make sure you go out and support these great establishments. All right. So like I said, we love having guests on and we love promoting entertainers. You know what? I noticed that, people come up to me. I've been doing it for years. People have come up to me for years, go, why do you bring these guys up when you're singing? And why do you do this? And why do you do that? Well, here's what I'm saying to you people that ask me these questions. I love camaraderie. I love to try to support, and that's what we're supposed to do. I am 62 years old and we're still going, but we need the younger guys to come up there and try to keep the momentum and that music alive, which is getting harder and harder because a lot of the people, sometimes when you go out, you sing your songs and you try to do everything you're doing, it's very hard when you're performing at these people don't realize I'm doing a show at 12 o'clock. All right, call you right back. Anyway, it's hard when you're singing these kind of songs, and seems like our generation is, hopefully they're not losing the passion for these great songs to Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis, Engelbert, Tom Jones, Paul Anka, Bobby Darin, Elvis, blah, 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 blah. There's so many of those great songs. And that's why we need people to keep it going. And so maybe the younger generation will grasp onto it. And I think that's more important. I would love to see more original music out there. Oh, Dino Manzella from Seventh Heaven is there. Dino, I love your intro that you did for us. I wish more people would do original music. I really do. Out of the 10 CDs that I have maybe one original song that got some play on the loop. It did get some airplay. It's called Come On Out Tonight. And people still request it, and I still do it occasionally. But I think more people would be nice to come out with original music to try to get that out there. I think that's very, very important. It really is. So Lisa Marie makes me say that they're losing love for this music. Lisa Marie from Reckless, go see her band. They are losing, and they are losing it. I'm telling you, my regular show, and I did my shows, I still do. It's 3 hours, whatever it is, and if you're in a bar or whatever it is, and we used to do the first hour of the Rat Pack stuff, and then the rest they wanted to dance stuff. And a lot of times that's what they want. They want people to start dancing. They don't want that, and that some of the bars have even told me, hey, enough of that Rat Pack stuff, too much of it. So I had to change it. So like yesterday at Berkeley, I didn't do any Sinatra or any Rat Pack songs at all. So it's got to be in the right spot. Good afternoon, Tony. Oh, well, thank you, Yolanda. Hope you're doing well. All right. So speaking of live music and speaking of a new up-and-comer, he's been hitting the market and hitting the scene and doing a fantastic job. So let's bring him on. Frankie said, everybody. He's been waiting there. Let's get him on. Frankie, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Tony. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for being on, my friend. First, Frankie, let's get right to it. Where were you born, my friend?
St. Joseph's in Chicago. I'm a Chicago guy. I grew up in like Edison Park, actually, and went to school at St. Paul de Cross in Park Ridge, grade school, Notre Dame for high school, Joliet Junior College I really just studied baseball there, not too much in the books, but yeah, so that's where I'm at, and then University of St. Francis for college. So
very cool. You have a big family, Frankie?
I don't. Lost my mom at a young age. My dad lives in Arizona now. So yeah, no, but I do have a lot of cousins. We're kind of scattered all over the country now. So but yeah.
So your nationality? Are you Italian?
I am. Well, okay. I'm Sicilian, but I'm not supposed to say that, right? I don't know if that's
no, that's what I was going to ask you. So when someone asks you, are you Italian, you say I'm Sicilian, or do you say you're Italian?
It depends on the guy, to be honest with you. Sometimes it's one way, sometimes it's the other way. I was lucky enough to go there when I was 14. My mom saved money and sent me over to Italy, and we did the whole, tour. And I mean, kind of led to where I'm at today. I planted seeds, so
yeah,
definitely.
well, yeah, it is. You're right. It depends on who you ask or what you say. But to me, we're all actually from the same boot. I mean, you guys are a little on the other side. We're northern.
You like to kick us a little, though, right? Like we're the ball.
Well, we kick every now and then. I'm not so bad with it. My mother was brutal. My mother's brutal. I remember my first wife, she was Sicilian. Oh, my God, you're going to get stabbed at night while you're sleeping. My mother was just brutal. She's mellowed out a little bit. She's 85, going to be 85 in November. But Frankie, very cool. So who, you, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 38.
Okay, so when did the music, was it your grandfather? Was it somebody on TV or somebody that you said, boy, I want to be able to, I love this music?
Yeah, so I guess the main story for me personally, Dean Martin passed away in 1995 on Christmas Day. Yep. I was 10 years old, and that Christmas, I got my first boombox. And with that boombox came 5 CDs. Out of those 5 CDs, 3 were Dean Martin CDs.
Now, who liked Dean Martin in your family to get you?
My grandmother, my dad's mother would always say, "Be more Dean Martin than Frank Sinatra." Sinatra was a jerk, he had he was the voice, but Dean could entertain, and honestly, in my life, I always tried to be a little more Dean than Frank when it comes to those situations,
It's funny you should say that.
My grandmother and I started singing in retirement homes, nursing homes when I was like 7, 8, 9 years old. I mean, I'm going back. I got 300, songs in my head, and a lot of them are Al Jolson songs that nobody knows,
Sure, sure.
So
sure.
yeah, I'm an old soul. I'll say that, Tony.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right. What they're saying about Frank and Dean, which makes a lot of sense with your grandmother said, and a lot of people kind of say the same thing. One thing I noticed about Frank and Dean, and I learned this from Frank and Dean. When Frank used to sing, he always looked at the women in the audience. So if there's a man and a woman sitting in the front row, they look directly at the women. And sometimes the men get a little whatchamacallit. Dean Martin, on the other hand, always looked at the man first. Looked at the man when he was singing, get the man comfortable so he knew. And that's what Dean did. And, but Dean, I don't think, I've been playing Dean Martin with the Rat Pack since Pack is Back, and Ron Onesti produced that show, and we're still doing it. And I met the family, and we played in Steubenville, and it's just, he was just a man's man. Everybody wanted to be Dean. I mean, Frank always wanted to be loved by everybody. I think Dean didn't give a shit. He wanted to.
It made him special, and I have a lot of similarities. He grew up boxing. He was, a little bit of an alley cat, and that's me. Sometimes you got to learn to swim without a lifeguard, and that's what I did.
That's very cool. So, do you remember how old you were when did you? Okay, so you took a break. You started singing when you were younger. You took a little break. What happened?
I felt my first love was singing, but after that it was baseball, and baseball 24/7 for all the way until. I got hit with a baseball September 11th of 2001. I shattered 17 bones in my face. I look pretty now, but they went in there and did surgery a few times, and that was pretty much the end of my baseball.
This is when you were playing. Were you playing? This is with your buddies,
after college. After college, I was just in a men's league, and that was it. It was time to move on, and then COVID hit, Tony. And when COVID hit, I mean, I stand with you politically. You want to talk about anything, I'm with you 100%. I'll lead that Trump train for you anytime, brother. But we don't have to go there.
Yeah. So good.
No, yeah. So
that's good. You could see one good thing about that is good and bad, because you're going to get people that are going to like you for it.
I know.
You're going to get people that you know what, it is what it is. And especially
Dean more than Frank, though. I don't care. Right? A little bit of that,
There you go. And that's what you got. That's why you have to be yourself. You're genuine, and and that's important. Very cool, Frankie. So
I see Christy there. I better say hi to Christy, or I'm going to get in trouble, Tony. Hi, Christy.
Yeah, Christy. Yeah, because she's going to knock you out if you don't. Yeah, so that's very cool. She's a nice lady. I don't know her that well. She used to come see me all the time at Norton's over there with our good friend Luann in New York City. So that's cool. She's a sweet lady.
And Carol's the best on Tuesdays. I'll shut up. I just see these people on the side now popping in.
Yeah, Carol, you gotta love Carol Brandolino, man. She's the best too. Twisted Tuesday. You can see me and Carol every Tuesday. Frankie, so so Dean is actually your guy. Do you have a favorite Dean Martin song?
I actually really, so for me personally, and I'll say this in my shows, you know, when Frank sings "Sad," I'll go, "I'm Yours" is my favorite Dean Martin song.
What is it?
"I'm Yours."
Okay, that's a great tune.
As
All
the
right.
sky above, you know it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
sure,
so
sure.
you know, I would say that like yeah, I just kind of leaned into the Dean thing. And honestly, like people, the biggest thing I get is, how do you know all these Dean songs? And it's like, well, I've been singing them since I was 6. They're just there. And when
They're
COVID
just
hit,
there.
you know, when COVID hit, it changed a lot. I got really angry inside. You know, there was a bit of me, and I was like, this ain't right. You know, this something's not right. And I've been trying to be a positive change in where you could drop those positive seeds, you know. And I love entertaining. I'll say this: I don't have the best voice, but I'm a good entertainer. And you know, I got put in a spot, Tony. We had a 10-year anniversary, high school anniversary. I got a 3-hour Dean Martin show with people that are all under 30. And I'm like, here we go, you know? So I'm naming the tables. I had them, just like you said, I had them out of the palm of my hand about 4 or 5 songs in, because I made them a part of the bit in the act and all of it, you know?
That's very important.
And I love that music. And you see, like, you'll get them moving, you get them, you know, and a lot of people don't know, a lot of Dean songs are country. I mean, I would say half of those songs are country songs, you know?
People don't realize that Dean Martin had a great country career with a lot of his records, and he made a lot of money with those. You know, and you know, a lot of people, the Return to Me's and the That's Amore and stuff like that, and Kicking the Head, which he hardly ever did live. You know, it was in that one movie, Ocean's 11, the original one. But and you know, and I'm so sick and tired of That's Amore and Kicking Ahead. Oh, but everybody, once a night, someone always asks. You know what? I love one of my favorite Dean Martin songs, a song called "I Will," which is one of my favorites too. So he always had some great songs, you know. And of course, he wasn't a drunk. He played the drunk. It was apple juice. You know, he wasn't a big drinker. He did drink. After his son died, though,
after his son, that airplane accident, yeah,
which was really weird about the whole thing. Sinatra's mom crashed in that same mountain that Dean Martin's kid did, and that's really the connection.
Well, like, you know, you and Carol talk about that synchronization stuff, and I don't know, I believe in all that stuff with you. It makes sense sometimes how that, you know.
I believe that too. So, like I said, Dean was more laid back, and you know, I loved his monologues. I loved his, you know, jokes that he did, and you know, and people do love it. You know, he wasn't a big drinker, because if he was a drunk, no television producers were ever going to give him a deal on television if he was a complete drunk.
No way.
We realized that. You know, but you know, he had a lot of variety shows, his roasts. I mean, you know, and it's still, that's the Christmas album from Dean Martin is still a huge seller. Love that stuff. You know what I mean? Is there a song though that you look when it comes on your set list and you go, ugh, I really don't want to do this, but I have to?
I'm not there yet, but give me 31 years. I hope, God willing, you know. But what I did was I grouped the big ones together. So like Everybody Loves Somebody, That's Amore, and so like the crowd sings along. Those are the ones they know all the words to. They're really big into it. And so, I usually throw that in later in the first set or early in the second set. And it's, you know, it's a crowd favorite. But like you said, it's, for me personally, I've got a lot of the deep tracks that, you know, like I love that song, you know, it's a great wonderful song.
The problem, like you said, with Dean compared to Frank, you can do probably 2-3 hours of Frank and everybody would know most of the songs. When you do 2-3 hours of Dean, a lot of people don't know these songs. Oh, they'll say, "Oh, he sang that." Oh, but did Eddie Arnold sing that, or did Elvis sing that, or did, you know?
Oh, that's a great Tom Jones song.
That's a great Tom Jones song. Yes, that's right. Green Grass at Home. Tom Jones, you know, made a big hit with it. So did Dean.
But so did Dean. Yeah.
So did Dean. Absolutely. Do you find the audience younger? Are they older, younger? Where are they coming in to see you now? You've been doing a lot of shows now.
I really leaned into the advertising because I don't have a big family, and I was like, I'm gonna have to get views. I went to my old neighborhood, Colette, you know, places that I know, you know, like I grew up on, and the advertising worked, you know, and I would say it was mostly around like 65 to 75. The one I've had a couple, you know, someone celebrating their 90th birthday party and they came to my show. And she knew every word to every song and said it was one of the best nights of her life. So like something like that just makes, that's the whole point of this, Tony. And I know you know that, like that's.
Yeah, and the good thing about doing this type of music, when I started out doing the rock thing, rock and roll thing, I did as much as I could until I couldn't do it no more, couldn't make a living of it. And even with COVID, we were still working. We were down maybe 2 weeks, and that's it. And everybody was still open, and they had the tents, and people came, and some people. I never understood the whole tent thing, because you're out in the tent, but then you still got to go inside to use the bathroom.
Well, you got a brain, Tony. So it make when you think for yourself, then it yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah. So but I know what you're saying, and the music though. Of Frank and Dean, and you seeing younger people showing up and enjoying that music as well.
Well, and so one thing I linked into another great guy. I'm sure you know him, Tony Orlando.
Sure.
And he's a great DJ. And
Tonio is watching, actually. Tonio is watching. How you doing, Tony?
Hey, Tonio. See, I can't see that part, but that's good. We actually got a thing coming up where, it's honestly, it's a little bit like how you got the DJ stuff in the back. Louis Pipes did the same thing. There's Louis another. I mean, I call him Big Brother because, I talked to him, he gave me a shot. He's like, hey, come on, little brother, I'll give you a shot, So,
and it works. And I think it works with me. And the reason why it works with me is the stuff that I don't do, Jerry or Toto or Daryl will play on the breaks. So it keeps people going the whole time, which I think is very important. Frank Casetta here, folk singer in the Chicagoland area. How about on one more sponsor, Armando Supermarkets, 925 Liberty Street. Buy local, shop local. Say hello to my good buddy Danny Mazzi, and Crash Champions Collision Auto Repair. For all your collision auto repair needs, go to crashchampions.com. Frankie, are you a big, besides Frank Sinatra, besides Dean Martin, do you have what's your favorite Sinatra song?
Ooh, it's actually the one Judy sings. The girl, well, it's the girl that got away, but Judy sings the man that got away, and I just love that song. In general,
it's a great tune.
But I really like New York, New York now, and I didn't know the words, but singing it with you changed it with me. So like now I'm thinking, and it's funny because Derek Jeter's my favorite ball player, and it was his birthday on that day, and I was like, that's that synchronization stuff again.
Yeah, Derek Jeter was my favorite too. He's one of my favorite Yankee, of course, Mickey Mantle, then of course Derek Jeter, and then my three favorites. It's Mickey Mantle, Derek Jeter, and Pete Rose. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody says about his gambling. No one's ever going to beat. Charlie Hustle. No one's ever going to beat him.
Tony, can I ask you a question? A baseball question?
Yeah.
Do you? So like I these guys that were in the 90s that McGwire, Sosa, all these guys that cheated, but the MLB was like behind them. They're like they basically gave them the needle to bring baseball back after the strike.
Yes.
So I feel like we should have a separate wing in the Hall of Fame. That was my whole generation. Roger Clemens was Rafael Palmeiro, and none of them are in. None of them are in.
You know what, Frank? It's amazing you would say that. I think I knew, the owners knew, the doctors knew, the umpires knew, everybody knew what was going on, and nobody said shit to bring baseball back, because baseball was having some problems after that strike. And if it wasn't for the home run thing between, right?
Yeah,
it would have been nothing.
Yep.
But and I think if they just would have came out and said, hey, I made a mistake, I've been doing it, blah, blah, blah. Some people just went to the end and would not want to admit that they did it. I think with anything in life, you fuck up, you admit it, you're going to go through some shit, but because you stepped up and you admitted it, a lot of things get forgiven. And look at that. There's murderers in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. I think it's important to do that. Derek Jeter, classy guy, like you said, you don't hear anything negative about the guy at all. You know what I mean? Frankie, what is, besides Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin, what else kind of songs do they hear when they come and see you?
All right. So what I did was, I believe if Dean was still alive, he would be singing and covering George Strait's classic songs. Like George Strait, I don't know. So I go from the King of Cool to the King of Country, and it's a smooth transition, and people seem to really love it. I do live in, I got some Motown soul in my heart, so that's there. I haven't broke it out yet. I've stuck this summer has really been when I got started, it's truly a tribute to Dean. I venture off a little bit, to Frank and Bobby and even George Strait. But this summer, when I was like, this is going to be a summer for what I want to get started in,
Right, which is cool. That's a good thing to do. Stick to what you believe in, stick in what you do, and eventually, like when I first started with the Dean and the Frank, and then I started adding the Sammy, Bobby Darin, Engelbert, Elvis, Mel Torme, Jerry Vale.
And Engelbert's great. Yeah.
Engelbert's incredible. He's got some incredible songs. Tom Jones is another one, man, just one after another. But when you're talking about Frank and you're talking about Dean, you have to talk about Bobby Darin.
You have to. And honestly, the links between, I'll see you posted about, there's something with Bobby. Sinatra passed away on Bobby's birthday, or it was vice versa. There's something that goes with that. And I forget Kevin Spacey now, but I loved that movie when the Bobby Darin story back, when it's on my
thought he did a great job at it. I think the only thing
he did a great job.
If he was a little younger, it would have pulled it off. And because no movie studios was going to give him the money to make the movie. So he made it all on his own. He even sang on it. The soundtrack, he did a great job with that.
He did. And then you go back to Bobby, and then I play Connie Francis during my breaks. That's the only person that gets airtime during my breaks. And, the Connie Francis story with Bobby, Connie's dad chases Bobby out with a gun, and he never came back, and I mean, there's so much with all of that. And you won't find me watching like The Voice or the news or anything you'll find me going like YouTube and at night back to old school stuff. I'm not really interested in, what they have to say right now with certain things. And it's just,
And you know what? Dean was so cool, even as an actor. His movies were all great, and he just was, man, he was somebody you just wanted to hang with and wanted to be like. And, Frank always wanted to be like the mob and all this kind of stuff. Frank was the king. All right, we know that.
Yeah.
Frank was Frank. We all know that. But Dean was the heart and soul, you know what I mean? And I love the story where Frank Sinatra threw Dean Martin his 50th birthday party at Dean's home, if I'm correct, if it's the right age. And all of a sudden, in the middle, some police come to the door. And Frank opens the door and goes, "What's going on?" He goes, "Sorry, we had some complaints." He goes, "It's a gated community. Everybody's here. It's from the community. Who called and complained?" Dean Martin did, from upstairs. He goes, "All right, everybody, I'll fed you. Now everybody out of my house." It was his own party. He just wanted he wanted to watch his Westerns. He wanted to go to bed and get up early and go golf. He didn't care for the carousing and the drinking and all that stuff. Sinatra sent the prostitute.
No, and that's, Tony. Yeah. Well, and you'll hear a lot of times that Dean Martin never rehearsed. That ain't true. He had one of the first on his golf cart. He had a tape player, and he would he would actually rehearse while he was golfing and then play it off like he didn't rehearse.
He played it off. He was always listening to it. And when he did his shows with the cue cards, you can tell if he screwed them up, he didn't care. You know what I mean? It was like, I love the Christmas one where he's sitting on the piano and he's doing Leon, Leon. And the card was upside down. Yes. Noel. It's like, it was a classic. Yes. It was a classic. Frankie Setta here, folks, Chicago singer, man, doing his stuff. Frankie, what else do you want to do? What do you see yourself in another year or 2 years from now?
Well, I mean, honestly, I want to keep going, and I don't see a ceiling right now, Tony, and I'm not going to put a ceiling on myself. I love singing. I love people's faces and the joy I seem to get when I'm doing this. And I just want to keep going. Maybe 5 years from now, I'll be on a cruise with you somewhere.
You know what? I think we should do one. We should get all the guys together and do our own. I think that would be pretty cool.
We got to, I was even thinking like a Christmas show or something where we all just go, like a rap. But I know, and I don't want to impose. But I love you all. We can do something
as friends. I would love to do something like that. It's very cool.
Yeah, because I just feel like the vibe of what you got going and the energy, I've been to, one of your shows, I've been many of your shows, but the last one I went to, when I'm doing that train with you, the Trump train, and I know it's one song.
People go crazy. It's fun. I know. I love it. Come on.
I love it.
Everybody's drunk anyway by then. Yeah. So, what's the difference?
Exactly.
We're having fun.
Exactly.
Frankie, do you do any warm-ups or anything before you sing, or do you just naturally
I do. I do. And you know, and I actually have like a 3 song. It's like my song list that before I come on, these strong songs play. And it's funny because I didn't know that you did the Sopranos, and I got the Rocky, but not the Rocky theme. It's like from when it's the last song in the first Rocky movie when he goes through all the like, so people don't really know what it is right away, and they're like, "Huh, what is that?" I know that song. And then by the end, you're
Very
like, yeah,
cool.
it just
But what about like
you know?
health wise? I mean, do you gargle tea, anything before you sing?
Yeah, I'm big on
Okay,
tea. I'm big
okay.
on
Are
tea.
you
And
a
then Christy's
drinker?
got me all these like oil of
Okay, are you a
oregano.
drinker? Are you a
What is it?
drinker?
I am not. I am not. I'll have a
Okay,
cocktail,
you
but
a
I'm not a drinker. I'm not a
cigar
drinker.
smoker, cigarette smoker, anything like that?
I'm a smoker. I've been smoking cigarettes on and off since I was 15. I've
It's
quit
okay.
100
Let's say
times, you
it
know.
is what it is. Everybody has
Yeah.
their.
Yeah.
You can't take everything away.
That's my
You can't take everything away.
the one thing I can't kick's my nicotine. That's what I can't kick.
There you
So
go. All right. So, which is cool. Frankie, listen, you got if younger kid coming right now, or anybody coming up to you right now and saying, "Hey, man, I'd like to do this." What kind of advice would you give them?
Well, like, okay, so in college I studied servant leadership, and like I'm big in that. So like I manage a small company here in Elk Grove Village. But I would say this, like, there's the people that are telling you like, well, be careful, like you need a plan B. The young kids don't need it. If you got a plan B, you're not all in on plan A. And if you fail on plan A, get up and try again, because until you find out what you're meant for, what you were created for, and when it clicks, and then things happen. And I think for me, I found my joy and my happiness in what I'm doing now. And now it's like, let's see where we could take this.
Yeah, you know what? And it's like you said, you're fortunate because you have your day job and you can still go out and play at night, and you can now do both. And eventually, I know a lot of guys that started like that. Eventually, they gave up their day job and just kept going. If you think about it, I mean, I'm a fluke. I was I don't know, man, 31 years doing this full time. I don't know. But I got lucky and I had people behind me. But you know what? The real people behind you are the people that come and see you at your shows. People do not realize. I got people that come 4, sometimes 3 to 4 nights a week for the last. It's mind-boggling to me. But it's those people that make for your career to go. Because you know what, the first time you book a place, if you're brand new and they don't never heard of you or whatever, okay, the first thing the owners say, well, how many people are you going to bring in? A lot of the Italian places, well, how many people
100%. They want to know.
They want to know. But also, you have to find a place that also has sort of a following already. If they're expecting you to be the Pied Piper on that particular night, it doesn't always work that way. You know what I mean? You have to have a 50-50. They have to help support. They have to help promote. These bars have to do that, or wherever you're performing at has to give you those tools.
And you notice it.
And you do notice it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the people that Larry's Lola Lorenzo. How you doing, Lola, from Donnie G's in Elmwood Park. It's the people also. Here's another thing. Yeah, things that people don't realize. The difference, like with these other bands, sometimes there's a lot of other musicians and entertainers, and they're playing different clubs and rock clubs and stuff like that, or whatever, which is fine. But when you come to a show that either my show or your show or Tony Pipes or Divas or Lisa, whoever it is, whoever's performing at these particular establishments, it is not cheap to hang in there. The drinks and the food, it's costly. So if they're there for you and the food and the drinks, you know what it is. It's special. It's special because they can go anywhere they want to go eat and drink, and they chose to come to you. And to me, it's the biggest thing in the world, man. You got Ronnie Starr watching. Ronnie, great job last night.
I see Ronnie, Lori, Ronnie B. There's so many. I love it.
So a lot of entertainers are watching us,
Felix.
folks. Frankie, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And no. It's funny because like when this whole thing started, everyone's like, well, aren't you worried about like you guys all singing the same stuff? And I'm like, we're not all singing the same stuff, but like, in marketing, you put a Coke machine and a Pepsi machine right next to each other in a warehouse, both get more business. It's not like one's going to get more than the other. Because you're putting both there, it draws that energy. It's a pull, and that's why
I
love
agree.
it.
And
love
another thing I also
doing,
believe that your fans, like I said, they're the people that come and support you. You know what? I think a lot of times I have a little niche, I think, on my end, because a lot of the fans that come, people that come and see me, they're drinkers. So the bar is going to make money. If they're just going to sit there and order a Pepsi and a glass of milk and coffee, that ain't going to work, because the restaurant's not making any money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and people say, I've been very fortunate. I got some great people that do that, and it's important. Bobby, but club owners would ask me all the time. I used to tell them, I can't promise you how many people would show up, but I promise you that we'll have a great time, which is very, very important. Frankie, is there what's coming up? What's a show you're promoting? Anything? What's coming up?
Well, tonight I'm at Jameson's with Jenny V. James.
Yeah,
I think you know Jenny. And then next I got like Gigi's coming up. I actually I was just talking to the lady over at Donnie G's, so I'll be coming over there for the first time in October. Last night I got called up at Louis, and I'm going to be at Gigi's August 1st. And then, Tony Orlando and me got like a rooftop thing going on July 27th.
And where's that going to be held for people who want to come see it? Tavern on the Point. You got to love that place over there. It's great. So, all right, Tony, I dropped $175 to have dinner and drinks just to see the Jersey Girls. Okay, so there you go. It's expensive with the places that we perform at. It is. So the people that come and see you there, they're there for you, and they're also there for the ambiance of the place, the food, whatever it is. But they're having a great time. I guarantee you, when they leave that place, they're going to say, "Hey, I had a great time." Maybe they'll meet their new love of their life. Maybe they'll meet someone else. I don't.
And we get to be a part of all of it, which makes it
good and bad. Good and bad. Good and bad.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
My wife left me because she met some guy at your show, Tony. Oh, I've got that many, many times.
Two sides of the same coin. You got to flip the coin.
If they want to book you, Frankie, how do they get a hold of you, sir?
I try to tell everybody, go to my Facebook page. That's where I'm most heavy on. I've got my information on there. And then from there, I got my cell phone, message me, call me, find me on Instagram, anything. I'm a pretty open book guy. I got two wonderful children who are, inspirational and all.
What do they think about you? What do they think? How old are your kids?
My son's 12. He's almost 12 in a couple of weeks. My daughter's 6. And they've been to some shows now, and I mean, it's magic, because when you're looking at their faces while you're doing what you're doing, and it's inspiring them at that age to say, hey, if dad makes a little mistake, look at him. He don't care. He's still going.
Let me ask you something, though. Good looking kid like yourself. You do have a girlfriend, but sometimes you got to be that kind of flirty out there, and sometimes you have to have a good person on your side that understands all that, because if you don't, I'm telling you, I'm on wife number 4, and my first 3 were not happy with anything I did, because I'm in bars every night of the week, and I miss everything. So sometimes people, you might, you want to book yourself, but sometimes you might want to just relax a little bit, have a couple weekends off where you can have fun with your girlfriend or your kids or your family. You know what I mean? Because that's some advice I can give you. I'm booked right now like crazy, and I have been, but that's my wife who supports me like that, which is cool. She understands what I do, and she's cool with that. But then, if you don't have a good partner to help you push like that, you're done. I don't give a shit how you're done.
No, Well, Christy's kind of a boss lady with me. She's got me on all these healthy kicks. I'm a healthier man because of it. Like, I'm telling you, she's the best with it. And honestly, amongst the circuit, like we all know each other already going into it. I've known Christy for a long time before this, but yeah, it's just been like what you're saying is true. I put an X through I'm not doing a show on my son's birthday. I'm not doing a show on my stuff like that. You got to make sure work-life balance and my kids are first.
Very cool. So, well, Frankie, thank you for your time, my brother. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep singing. Keep enjoying. I do
you,
want to
Tony.
say something. I want to thank you for your nice, kind words that you said to me, and I do appreciate that. You know, I'm hoping that the younger people come up, and if I can pass something along, and we can say, hey, you know, that's what we just got to keep this music, this vibe, whatever we call it, still out there. And guys like,
keep that fire
no,
burning.
we
We're not going to
can't.
let that
And
fire die.
we can't.
We will
And you
not
know,
let
I
that
know
fire die.
our audience are getting older, like myself. So I don't know, you know, 5, 6, 7 years. I don't know. I'm just going to be 62 this year. But I'm just keep doing what I'm doing, and then so you keep doing what you do, and Frankie, and you don't quit no matter what. Don't quit. You keep doing what you do.
I love you, brother. I
too,
mean
brother.
that. You're
God bless you, my man. Frankie Seta. Make sure you check him out on Facebook page, Frankie. That's Frankie. It's SETA on Facebook. Go see him. Go support him. Have some fun. Have a great weekend, and give my best to Jenny. Give my best to Jenny when you see her, and George tonight at Jameson's. By the way, I booked some of the acts at Jameson's. Me and my wife over there. So there you go. Great guys. Okay. All right, guys. You have a good one. God bless you, Frankie. Have a great weekend. Thank you very much. Frankie Seta, everybody. Make sure you go see Frankie near clubs or a restaurant near you. Very, very important, folks. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. All right, what do we got here? Newspapers. Do people still read the newspapers? I don't know. I read. I get one every now and then. I like paging through it. I still kind of read it. It's sad that it's kind of losing its. You know, it's gone. Like the books now. Everybody. I have a Kindle. I used to love holding those books in my hand, and now everything is just changing. I don't know. It's going to be crazy. You know what I missed? I missed G-Fest this weekend. Oh, I'm so pissed off. G-Fest is Godzilla Fest. I know I'm a big Godzilla fan, but I missed it in Rosemont this weekend. Horrible, horrible, horrible. All right, so crazy. We just talked yesterday about the Republican Party yesterday with former President Donald Trump. It's going to be interesting to see the debate between J.D. Vance and Kamala Harris, if that happens. Also, there's a rumor going on that Joe Biden's going to step down and he's not going to endorse Kamala. We don't know if that's actually going to happen, but that's the word that's going out right now. So it's going to be interesting. November is going to be coming awfully fast, ladies and gentlemen, awfully fast. Also, there's another rumor that Tucker Carlson got a deal with ABC for $400 million to take the place of Jimmy Kimmel. Number one, I don't believe that's true. I don't think Tucker Carlson would work for ABC. So I think that's just fake news out there, even though people are talking about it. I also want to say my prayers out to my friend Melissa and Rhino out there from Bugsy's. Melissa's grandfather, Lauren Michael, died at the age of 96 years old. Lou Dobbs has passed away too, folks. He was a political commentator and TV host. He died at the age of 78 years old. And another comedy legend, the great Bob Newhart, has passed away too at the age of 94. I got to meet Bob Newhart 3 or 4 times, and people might not know, but Bob Newhart's best friend and vice versa was Don Rickles. I've opened for Don Rickles a few times, and sometimes Bob and his wife would come out and support and go see Don. What an incredible comedian and actor, the great Bob Newhart from Oak Park, Illinois, has passed. So another great legend gone, which is sad. And folks, it's funny. Listen to this. Whoever thought a song with no lyrics would be banned on the radio in the United States of America? It happened in 1958. A song called Rumble by Link Wray, W-R-I-W-R-A-Y. And I guess Rumble back in the 50s, it was a slang for gang fights. So it was banned, even though they never said the word rumble in the song. There was no lyrics. It did get banned on radio in 1958. Wow. It's amazing how times have changed. Deutz Power Systems, folks, our good friends from Deutz, my good buddy Sal, make sure you give him a call. Deutz is servicing the construction and diesel industry in Chicago for the last 100 years. That's Deutz Power Center. That's 224-276-6550. Tell them Tony O sent you, our good friends from Deutsch. All right, busy other shows coming up next week, folks. Next Thursday will be at Postatanos in Oak Brook with Jerry Jams and Lisa P. So I hope you guys come out to there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Next Saturday, my rock band Mojo's Jukebox will be at Dirty Nelly's in Palatine. And opening the show for us will be Small Town, tribute to John Cougar Mellencamp. If you love the great 70s and 80s rock and roll, come and see Mojo's Jukebox on the 27th. And on the 31st, we'll be at Kelsey's Roadhouse in Lake Barrington for the Almost Home Foundation for Dogs. I'm trying to do that and Rosario's at the same time. I'll explain that to you. But we're going to need you guys to come out, bring your dogs, and give these guys support for the Almost Home Foundation. August 4th, Oceans Rat Pack will be in Iowa, Davenport, Iowa Festival. On the 9th, we'll be at Ron Onesti's Taylor Street Italian Fest on the main stage, Peroni stage. 8:30, that's Friday, August 9th. Regina Karma, Daryl Armenstad, Danny Ramundi, Tony Toto, Jerry Jams. It's going to be a lot of fun, Taylor Street Fest. I'm excited for this year. And everybody's asking when we're going back to Lake Geneva. August 24th, we'll be at Mars Resort in Lake Geneva. That's a 4 o'clock hit. Oh, yeah. Boy, oh, boy. What happened? Oh, boy, June 19th, 1976, the very first Family Feud game show premiered on ABC with Mark Goodson production and Richard Dawson. It's not the same, the new one. I know Steve Harvey, and they had so many other guys, but the main man was Richard Dawson. I used to love him. He used to kiss all the women. Frankie's last name, Kathy Iseta, S-E-T-A. S-E-T-A. Very simple. Ryan Lewis, Stella, what's up? Angelo Packy is in the house. Fox 32 News, folks. Defunct airline Pan Am is returning to the skies for the first time in more than 30 years to help fillers relieve the golden days of travel. But securing a seat to witness comebacks is a hefty price, folks. Pan Am returns with wow. You want to bring back the old days? $6,500 to take a trip on the old Pan Am. It's going to be all set up like the old stewardess. So it's going to look like you're going back in time. I don't know, man. I would like to do that sometime, just to try to go back in one of those airlines. Interesting stuff. Before we go, we only got a couple minutes left, folks. How about this? The world's highest posthumous earners, which means the most earnest people that are dead. And this is what they're making. Wow. This is what they're making now. This is what they're worth. They're earners now that they're dead. This is how much money they still make. John Lennon still makes $22 million a year. Whitney Houston, $30 million. Charles Schultz, the Charlie Brown's guy, still makes $30 million. Dr. Seuss still makes $40 million. Ray Mazarin from The Doors makes $45 million. Elvis Presley still makes $100 million a year, and he's not alive. And the most guy that makes the most money who's gone, Michael Jackson, still $115 million. The money from the royalties and everything. Last but not least, folks, everybody complaining about everybody with the Band-Aid, with President Trump with the Band-Aid and the fans with the Band-Aid over his ear. An ear Band-Aid is so unnecessary, says the people who wore masks for 3 years and still do. Really, really, really. Oh, God. It just drives me crazy. There's so much more to talk about, folks, but we're going to save it for Mondays and Tuesdays, next week's show. One last thing also. Richard Simmons just passed away. Sad about that, the exercise guru. But the fact that Keith Richards has outlived Richard Simmons really makes me question his eating healthy and his exercise thing, because Keith is still alive and Richard Simmons has just passed. Keith Richards should have died years ago. So, not supposed to be funny, but just makes you wonder. Anyway, all right, so we're coming to the end. We are at the end, but it's time for birthdays. July 19th birthday. All right, Phyllis Diller would have been celebrating a birthday today. Patrick Wayne, the son of John Wayne, is 85 years old. He was in some of the John Wayne movies. Mike Vale, one of the original members of Tommy James and the Shondells, celebrating a birthday. Kathy Cundiff. Kathy, if you're there, from Nashville, happy birthday to my friend Kathy. Lynn Jordan, a great Chicagoland entertainer. Lynn Jordan, happy birthday, my friend Lynn. And Dan Nozak and Dina, happy birthday, Dina, to your mom, 75 years old. James Borland, 84 years old today. 50th anniversary to the Illinois State Lottery. 50 years they've been taking money from us here in Illinois, but like me and my wife said, we never win. And the 20th anniversary to Millennium Park. 20 years. Happy anniversary to Millennium Park. Dion and the Belmonts. Dion turns 85 years old. Vin Diesel, 57 years old. Christian Bell, actress, 44 years old. And world leader Nelson Mandela would be celebrating a birthday too. Guys, woo! What a great show today. I hope you guys enjoyed Frankie's setup. Make sure you go out and check out Frankie doing the hits of Dean Martin. And that's what you're going to get. You're going to get the old school Vegas type show. And go check him out. Good kid and a good, respectable guy. You got to go out and check him out. Buy local, shop local. Go see it, folks. Let's thank our friends from Ace Hardware. Ace is the place. Buy local, shop local. Download the Ace Rewards app. Easy way to keep track of your points, coupons, and special offers. Our good friends from Ace is the place. Helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. Guys, tonight we'll be at Chicago Prime Steakhouse, 8 o'clock with Daryl Armenstaub. Saturday, Taverna tomorrow with Tony Toto, Melrose Park, and Sunday, me, Jerry Jams, and Lee Stevens at Ron Onesti's Club Arcata Speakeasy for Rat Pack Sunday. That's a 3:30 hit. Keep going, baby. Happy birthday, Lee Stevens, this Sunday. So happy early birthday to Lee. Everybody, remember, buy local, shop local, support local establishments, support live entertainment. And be kind to everybody, folks. Peace and love Ringo Starr needs. We need it more than ever. Everybody can have a different opinion. There's no reason why two people still can sit down and talk without fists and fights and crime and heat and just hate. We don't need that. We can still get together and still have completely different opposite views. But that's what makes us all individual. Nick Sahaj is the piano man. Take us out. Have an incredible weekend. God bless everybody. Bye-bye.
Oh, it's the end of the show. See you later from town.